What's up, guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103, and welcome to another video where today we're going to be discussing what in the heck is going on at Barcelona. Our form this season, the performances on the pitch have been quite lackluster. A few okay games, but most of the games have been not the best performance despite getting results. What is the concern? Of course, we now had back-to-back defeats. I think for the first time under Hansi Flick, and also of course the first time this season. I think our 5th loss of the 2025 calendar year. But coming in back-to-back scenarios, the way we've been performing this season, there is the question on what is happening, and we're going to discuss it in this video. Of course, drop a like down below, subscribe if you haven't already. This of course stems mainly from the Sevilla game, where there is a lot of insight coming into it. We do have clips to discuss. Firstly, you can see Frenkie de Jong, Gerard Martin getting into a little bit of stick. I think this is following a corner kick. Following us going 2-0 down. The second goal going in from Isaac Romero. Frenkie de Jong showing his displeasure. Of course, at this time, the captain on the pitch is Ronaldo Araujo with the armband, but looks like Frenkie de Jong is being the more verbal of the captain. You also have here Ferran and Pedri getting into it as well. This is Barcelona setting up for an attacking corner kick. They're showing each other some frustration. Maybe there's a lack of communication on the pitch, whatever the case may be. But, you know, seeing the top dogs, the top players in this team arguing with each other doesn't really bode too well. We've seen this a lot, of course, under Xavi's second season as well. There's these clips of, you know, players arguing with each other, not maybe seeing eye to eye, not reading the game as, you know, unified as they should be. But it is something to raise an eyebrow from. And of course, you can also see lots of videos of Hansi Flick showing his frustration during the game as well. There seems to be the second season syndrome hitting Barcelona, and I did of course predict this at the beginning of the season. Teams want to beat you more when you're the best team in the world. Teams are going to figure you out more. You have to play, I'm not saying perfect, but you have to be on your A game, and this season we have been far from it. If you take away the 2 games we played, the Johan Cruyff against Getafe and Valencia, our results this season have been awful. Absolutely awful, leading last second in the comebacks to beat Levante, drawing to Vallecano, narrow, tight win, good win in fact against Newcastle, losing to PSG and Sevilla. The form this season has been absolutely all over the place. You got wins, losses, and draws coming out the wazoo. I'm not talking about titles being in jeopardy, or we're still, you know, 2 points behind in the Liga title race, whatever it may be. We are talking about what's to come. The team's success this season is looking very damning. Damning in the fact that without us being on our A game, we cannot guarantee success with the quality that we're having. And there are, of course, a few issues in this team that I do want to just address. Firstly is, of course, leaders on the pitch. Captain armband keeps changing every single game. I get that. I'm really too fussed about that. But there needs to be a leader on the pitch, someone to command. You know, a lot of times during, I would say, the 2012, 13 season all the way until 2020, Piqué was a very verbal, you know, player on the pitch, but rarely ever wore the captain's armband. And I think we're seeing that same player in our team, and that player is Raphinha. According to Gabriel Sanz of Mundo Deportivo, the Barcelona staff is missing Raphinha a lot. Without him, the team has missed someone who can command the squad with his leadership, provide intensity, and contribute to goals and assists, especially in big games, as well as those close to the dressing room say that when he wears the armband, it shows. And this reminds you a lot of Piqué, because Piqué was very verbal inside the locker room, on the pitch. Of course, he was, you know, usually one of the top 4 captains in the team, as you would expect, but barely, you know, wore the armband, led the team on the pitch, so to speak. And that is something that we've been listening a lot in this game. You see Frenkie de Jong maybe showing that a little bit as he shows his frustration, telling the team to do specific things and stuff like that. But there needs to be someone there on the team 24/7 on the pitch, you know, riling up the players, showing confidence, telling them it's going to be fine, fixing things, making adjustments. We lacked that, I think, against PSG and against Sevilla as well. Second thing we lacked is, of course, these goddamn freaking tactics. Now, according to Carlos Monfront of Sport, Stefan Knopp, the German analyst and a member of Barcelona's coaching staff brought in at Flick's personal request, sat just behind the press area during the match against Sevilla. Throughout the match, he was highly critical of several tactical mistakes by the players and visibly frustrated with certain referee decisions, discussing them in German with the Michael Hansman and the rest of the coaching staff. Now, of course, we talked about Stefan Knopp last season when he came in. I think he came in very late on, like November, December time. Of course, he was very, vocal in the Germany 2022 World Cup Amazon Prime documentary as well, so we can have an idea of his thought process and stuff like that. But yes, you can be upset with every decision, but we're talking mainly, of course, about several tactical mistakes. What those mistakes are, I'm not quite too sure, but we need to discuss how we approach games. Of course, Hansi Flick said after the Sevilla game, I don't think the system is a problem. I think the players are just making, too many mistakes, and we're getting punished. Of course, you can make mistakes in games and not get punished. That's happened already to Barcelona a few times this season as well. But every mistake that we make is being pounced upon. But we have to talk about the system because the eye test does not lie. Barcelona have been conceding the exact same goddamn fucking goal this whole entire season. Cross to the middle into the byline, whether it be from behind the line, it's always the same goal, and this is down to the system. Yes, you can say players are not maybe performing at the system correctly. Sure, that can be a scenario, but we're conceding way too many chances and way too many goals with the simple cross over the line, the runners in behind, in the middle. It is the same thing. I'm showing literal video proof of it right now. Every single big chance and goal scored against us this season has been in the exact same format. Exact same. There's not been one different. Not even one different. Even look at Gonzalo Ramos' late winner against us as well. Simple cross in over the high line, runner making the run at the far post, staying onside, and here it is right here down the byline. Bale holding Kobarsi's dick at that point. Like it's pathetic. It is pathetic, and it comes down now to the players even suggesting it as well. Frankie De Jong, when we were 2-0 down, there's a corner kick, and he was telling the defensive line to drop back more. He was telling Kobarsi and Ferran, keep the line, drop it. It's too high and we're getting done in behind. When you have your players saying it at this point, it does show somewhat a realization from their perspective. Maybe they're not happy with the line, for example, as well. But serious question marks need to be asked about this, goddamn high line. I get it. I like it. I don't mind it. But you need to adapt. 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 Having the high line in the 90th minute makes no sense. Having the high line when you're under pressure, under the cosh, does not make sense. And this has to be addressed to Flick. I really hope someone in the Girona pre-match press conference asks Flick, why are we conceding the exact same goal on all the goals we have conceded this season? Every single time you have the fullbacks tucked in, holding the dicks of the center back, so the wide men are wide open. The ball gets there. All you have to do is hope that the striker times his run, cross into the that beats the back four, and it's a 1v1. Maybe sometimes Joel Garcia saves it, but every time against Chesney it goes in. Like, it is the same thing, and this has to be addressed. Another point to mention as well is the form of the players as well. Now, Deco has been speaking in the media, of course, our sporting director, and he was asked on Barcelona's performances until now this season and compared to last season, and he said, we're not as magnificent or as dazzling as people made us out last season. We are, yes, a great team when we work hard and when we're all united. If we start believing that our talent comes before our efforts, then we have a problem. So he's basically suggesting here that the Barcelona players are saying, we're one of the best teams in the world. Let's just go away and rock up. If it's not a big game, let's just, do our thing and get out of there. And we're being a bit lackluster. I think this is what Deco is trying to employ. Now, there was a meeting with the players and the manager before the international break. Ferran Martinez said that Hansi Flick talked with all the players on Sunday and Monday before taking a few days off for the upcoming Monday for personal reasons. The coach believes that beyond the physical strain of playing 7 matches in 21 days, the team needs a mental break. Flick sees this break as an opportunity to disconnect, reset, and return to full strength with the goal of facing the next games with strength and continuing to compete for all the titles at stake. Starting from Monday, he wants everyone focused to have turned the page on this poor start to October. It's time to react and get back to winning ways. I just think it's more. I think it's more than just a mental block. The mental block is very much an excuse, in my opinion. An excuse that we've seen so many times over recent years. There's also been apparently a meeting between Laporta, Deco, and Flick the day after the match, and the board is showing full confidence. Flick, you're not going to sack Flick over this. I get that. I think Flick will get the season. I don't think no matter what happens, he won't get sacked during the season unless we have, 5 losses or 6 losses in a row and we don't look like anything's going to change. But the issue is that I don't think anything will change. And then we're just going to, hopefully be more clinical in the final third. And then that's also a point that has to be mentioned as well. We're not finishing our chances as much as last season. I think up until this point, I think by December, Raphinha had like 24 GA, Lamine had 18 GA, Lewandowski had like 25 GA. Right now they're all at 6 and 5. I think the most GA right now on the team is Rashford with 8, and I think Varane has 6, and then Lamine, Rafa, and Liwa have 5. That's GA as well, not even just goals. So the team is not as clinical as it was last season. That is also a big point, because you have to be clinical when you play such high risk, high level, high reward type of football, because we're playing this high line all the way up until the halfway line. We're not scoring chances. We get beat, we're down 1-0, then we have to chase. In terms of solutions, I think the main thing has to be 2 things. One, the plays, again, like I just mentioned, they need to be more clinical in the final third. Secondly, it is on the manager to adjust and adapt the system. I'm not saying change it. I'm not saying, drop it. Not going to a 5 at the back. Don't go to a 4-3-3. You have to adjust. Know when to have the high line. Know when to push forward and when to sit back. Know when to press and when not to press. And also pressing from this team as well. This season has been very, very poor as well over the course of the first 10-11 matches of the season. We need to be pressing as a unit and not as individuals. And we're doing a lot of individuality this season as well. But it has to be down to the system. There is a reason. I will show this one more time. There is a reason why we are conceding the exact same goals every season. It's not down to the players. It is down to the manager in the way he sets up the plays. Yes, you can defend better. Yes, you can stop the cross, this and that. But the opposition gets in these positions based on how the manager sets up the team. Push the wingbacks a bit further out. Why are Balde and Kounde so tucked in when we're defending? You're leaving so much space out wide. Maybe Flick's idea is to push the opponents out wide to make it difficult for them to work inside, which makes sense. But when the line is so high and the fullbacks are so tucked in, like look at Balde in this case. He's Balde at the halfway line. The other number 22 for Levante has so much time, space, and effort. Why is that the case? Why are the wingbacks so tucked inside? If he wants to divert the wingers, the opposing wingers, to make it difficult for them, that's fine. But in that case, the line has to be much deeper. And you can play your way, you can play your high intensity, high reward football with the high line, but you have to be adaptable. There has to be some sort of plan B. You have to see when the players are struggling. I do think that Flick has really improved in his proactiveness from the bench this season, but still, despite that, he needs to be able to adjust the team and system during the game, not just make subs at halftime and hope for the best. I think this is really much a split 50-50 on the manager and on the players. The players need to perform, they need to be more clinical in the final third, press as a unit, play at the highest level, show that you want to have success like you did last season and to be better than you were than last season and to achieve more and achieve the big prize that we did not achieve last season. And Flick himself as well needs to be more adaptable. Don't change your philosophy. Don't, change the way that you want to play. Stick with what you know. Stick to your gut. Stick with the way you think will be successful in Europe and will make this Barca team better. But you need to be able to adjust those tactics during games when you are clearly seeing things are not going the way it should be. Of course, though, in the comments down below, let me know your thoughts. You think the system needs to change? Think it's more so on the players? Is it a tactical perspective? Are we lacking a captain in the team? Leave me all your thoughts down in the comments below. And of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below as well if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys next time on the channel. Take care and Forza Barca.
Go, go, go.